Good morning, everybody. Welcome to First You. It's a wonderful Sunday. Would you stand and let's shake off the morning together? Take your arms and shake them. Take your legs and stomp them. Feel the earth on your leg bones. Say, Oh. Oh. Wow. Woo. Put one hand on your chest, and when you do it, can you feel the resonance on your hand? Oh. Whoa. 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 Oh. Fill it out, folks. Would you send your voice out to those around you? Fill the air. There it is. Yeah. And join me, we'll go, oh, 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 oh. We shall walk through the valley in peace. Oh, 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 we shall. Oh, 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 join me here. Oh, 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 oh. Beautiful. I think when we sing together, it's not just an act of making, but it's also an act of imagining. When we do this rhythm together, can you hear other instruments that are in the band? Oh, oh, daga daga daga, oh, 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 oh. Hear a whole symphony. Oh, 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 join me. Oh, 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 oh. There's a whole symphony around you. Oh, 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 oh. That's the idea. And now when we sing together the melody in long lines, can you keep hearing that symphony behind you? And I can tell when you do and don't, because when you don't, it sounds like, we shall walk through the, we shall walk through the valley. We shall walk valley in peace. Oh, 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 with love and justice as our leaders. We shall walk through the valley in peace. There will be no more trials there. There will be no more trials there. With love and justice as our leader, we shall walk through the valley in peace. Once more around. We shall walk through the valley in peace. We shall walk through the valley in peace. With love and justice as our leaders, walk through the valley in peace.
First Universalist Church. My name is Nico Van Ostrand and my pronouns are he or they, and it is my privilege to serve as the Cummins Ministerial Intern here. It is also my joy and privilege to lead worship today with Reverend Jen Crow, with Gary Hoover and Paulo DeBuque. Gratitude to Rob and Olu on tech, to Dallas Rising, who's hosting everyone on Zoom today, to all the artists and ushers and greeters and tenders of this space, and to all of you here and joining us from anywhere you are online. You who make it possible to be connected and inspired here, thank you for being here this morning, for taking a risk on connection and community and the power of love, which we do every time we show up together. Welcome to this community we create together. If you are new, we are glad you are here. If you've been here a million times before, we are glad that you are here. Welcome to this place where we lean into a universalist understanding of faith that names each and every one of us as whole and holy, worthy and welcome and wanted, with room always to grow. Welcome to a community of love and hope committed to practicing beloved community, grounded in a love so inclusive and expansive and irresistible that it cannot help but transform us individually and collectively, creating a world here and now of mutual thriving for us all. I want to invite you to take a moment as you arrive in here after we've sung together. I've said some words already, but take a moment to settle into where you are. Scooch down in your spot, get comfortable, move your arms, your legs, your body in the way that it needs to be here this morning. To find some calm together, to find some joy together, to know that we are in this moment in a space of sanctuary. And let's take 3 deep breaths on purpose together. The worship theme for February is Universalist Love at the Margins, and today we're talking about masculinity. Now, the first step in approaching Universalist love at the margins is naming honestly what is, naming the culture and the norms that are currently at the center so that we can start noticing where the margins are. Only then can we start to shift. This is a reorientation, a turning, a seeing where we are, and deciding if we like the way that we're facing, or if we need to turn some more. Sometimes reorienting is disorienting at first as we take in the new landscape, figure out what is there, but if we stick with it, I know we'll find magic at the margins. And I know this because I've seen it happen countless times, both in my life and also in stories, which is part of the way we imagine the future that we don't yet know how to live into. So I want to share a story with you this morning. This is a story called Whose Reality Is It Anyway?, which is adapted from a telling by UU religious educator Amy Peterson. Once upon a time, a long, long time ago, there was an average, perfectly ordinary town. Everything about this town was ordinary, except for one thing. There was a storyteller in this town. The storyteller had arrived one day without any advance notice. There was no invitation, no request. The storyteller just showed up, took a deep breath, and went about inviting everyone to come and listen to stories. There would be forests with huge and sometimes strange trees and mossy rocks in these stories. There were rivers with golden fish swimming, and there were talking tigers, a sly fox, and wise turtles, and a tall blue mountain peak with snow at the top, and a wonderful magical city on its slopes. And all the children listening to these stories wanted to listen forever because the stories made them feel amazed and happy. They wanted to share their amazement and their happiness with the rest of their families and anyone else who would listen, so they asked the storyteller, "Can I bring part of this story home with me?" The answer was always yes, and the children would take a piece of the story home and say, "Look what this storyteller gave to me." But those grown-ups would just reply, "You can't have that in the house. Tigers are much too loud, the turtles are too big, the rocks are too mossy, the snow will melt all over the carpet, take that back." So the children went back to the storyteller with their heads hung low. "Our families won't let us bring anything home from the stories. Please help us," they said. The storyteller gave it some thought, and the next day, mysteriously, something began happening in the town that got everybody talking. Things started showing up in unexpected places. There was a big tree right in the middle of the street, a kind tiger at the post office, a wise turtle wandering through the social hall, and a huge blue mountain right in front of the front door to church. Nobody knew what was going on, but they were pretty sure they knew who was responsible. And so the townspeople went to the mayor to plead their case. "You have to do something about that storyteller. That storyteller has turned our lives upside down." Well, the mayor marched right over to the storyteller's house and knocked on the door. Yes, came a kind voice from inside. This has got to stop, said the mayor angrily. What has to stop? Asked the voice. All these things, these inconvenient things that are showing up everywhere, said the mayor. You don't like them? Asked the voice, sounding surprised. Are you kidding? Said the mayor. Today I couldn't even get into church because there was a mountain in front of the door. Why don't you just go through it? Asked the voice. Go through it? It's a mountain. It's made out of rock. What do you mean, go through it? But it's just a story mountain, said the voice. All you have to do is enter the story. It's simple, really. Just enter the story. Well, the mayor was flustered by this and didn't know what to do, so the mayor did what most of us do when we don't know what to do and asked for some advice from the wisest teacher in town. I don't know what to do, said the mayor. Everything in the town has changed. Everything is out of order, and everyone is upset. The mayor talked about the tigers and the mountain and the turtle in the social hall and about what the storyteller had said. The teacher thought about this for a moment and then asked, well, why did you decide not to enter the story? I don't know, said the mayor. It just didn't make sense at the time, and I didn't know how, and then I got angry about it and just didn't want to. And now, said the mayor, I'm kind of afraid, although I'm not sure what I'm afraid of. Okay, said the teacher. Well, new things can be scary, but it can be really useful to look at things in new ways. We learn new things, and we can have a lot of fun in the process. But, said the mayor, it's not always easy. After all, how do we know we will like how the story ends? And the teacher said, with all the gentleness in the world, well, we don't know. All we can do is decide if we're willing to learn something new. And we each decide whether we will allow ourselves to be amazed and delighted by the story in front of us, or if we will be closed to the magic of it. When a story shows up in our town or on our doorstep, it is an invitation to become listeners and learners. It's an invitation to become part of a beautiful dance, as each of us becomes both creators of stories and receivers of wisdom. But we can't be either creators of stories or receivers of wisdom without first entering into the story. Beloveds, the invitation today as we talk about masculinity and universalist love on the margins, the invitation every day in this ordinary and wonderful town is to enter the story together. So let us enter the story of worship together right now. And will you join me in kicking that off with our chalice lighting words? Love is the spirit of this church. Service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. And in this community where we grow our spiritual lives and learn together, we also have spaces that are just right for the different communities among us. And this is now the time when our children and youth and all their amazing teachers and guides begin to make their way to the spaces made ready just for them. They'll take the light of the chalice with them. And if you are a child or a youth, it is time to follow the flags and the light on your way, and we will sing to you as you make your way out.
We often say here, you are not alone, we're holding it together, and I want you to know that we are not alone, others are holding us. So you might have noticed these notes up here. These are from all over the country. We've received notes from all over the world too. Canada, England, Amsterdam, probably all the states are here lending their love and support and solidarity with us here in Minneapolis. So I invite you to take time after the service and take a look at some of these. They are heart-filling, and our visual arts team is going to make a way for us to see those throughout other times, and every day they just keep coming. So we are being held, and I'm so grateful for it. One of the other ways that we as a community are being held is that I reached out to the Unitarian Universalist Trauma Response Ministry team this last week. This is a team that was formed after 9/11 and are a group of clergy and lay leaders who are essentially first responders to us and our congregations, each of us staff, clergy as well. So they are going to start working with us starting this coming week. So you'll start to see some offerings this first week specifically for parents or for folks who are caring for children or teens because we know you are in it. We know that you are experiencing so much. Schoolmates, parents being detained, harassed. This past week, a parent told me about how their 8-year-old has organized school patrol at recess with 8-year-olds. We need care. We need care for each other. So they are coming. More to come. I invite you to settle in for this time of meditation together. In the coldest of the cold places, in the north of a country now called Russia, in the days before cars and trains, in the villages where planes are still someone else's mode of transportation, the folktales and the stories present and past tell the truth of how deep in the depths of winter, a way opens out of no way, and what was impossible just days before becomes real. It happens when the cold comes in and stays a while, when the rivers and the lakes that once flowed and waved turn to ice sturdy enough to hold the travelers, the people and the animals as they move from place to place, and the water that used to divide them turns into a road, a trail, a gathering place. Neighbors visit neighbors, trade and travel reach where they couldn't before, families reunite across previously impassable distances. A way opens out of no way. We too are winter people here, people who know that a way can open out of no way. We know how the winter comes and stays a while, how the ice covers the water and small towns spring up on its surface. Ice shanties and kite flyers, dog walkers and luminary resistors, travelers, human and animal, seek solace and sustenance and move there under the broad sky. Under this broad sky, we bring our broken hearts today. We bring the cries of separation, the experiences of cruelty that ring out from generations past and moments so very present, as we know that harm is happening as close as this moment to our neighbors and ourselves. We carry our fear. We know the impact of ongoing and specific trauma. We know how grief and loss in our own particular ways in our collective lives is showing up today. It is too much to carry alone, and as Nico says, thank God we don't have to. We bring our heartbreak under the broad sky here. We bring our heartbreak to the wide earth, to the water, to the plants, to the ancestors, and ask them to metabolize it with us, to do it for us when we can't, to show us the way out of no way. Today we hold grief together with the Meisenberg family. Tony's father, Harry, died in his sleep on January 26th, and we hold their entire family, especially Tony and Sarah, Odin and Isla and Adrian, in our hearts. And together we say, you are not alone. We are holding it together. We also hold all those impacted by the recent decision of Children's Hospital to pause providing gender-affirming care. We pray for the families and children, the healthcare providers and administrators as they grieve this decision. We pray for a way out of what feels like no way to appear, so that our community's children and youth and families might have what they need to be seen and known and cared for as the whole and holy, welcome and wanted beings that they are. And to this space we bring our own individual, our own particular and our collective sorrows and celebrations. We know the cycle of life is turning for each and all. And through our shared breath, present and past and future, we learn to trust together that we are not alone. We are holding it together. And together we sing our prayers.
Each Sunday, we engage in the spiritual practices that bring our faith alive in the world. In this time of offering, of sharing of our resources, I remind us all that this time and all times in community, it's a time to give and also to receive. If you are in a place where financial or spiritual care would help, please let us know. We have funds, we have ears and hearts and time and space here for you as we all move in this together, move through this together, taking turns in what we need and what we can bring. This is how we hold it together. It is also pledge season right now, in the time of the year where we're all invited to think deeply about the world we want to co-create, where we can imagine freely what could be possible for this church community and offer some of our treasure for that collective dream. A little note about logistics for our pledge form. In an effort to reduce paper use, to reduce errors, and generally make our pledge process more efficient, we are encouraging everyone who can to fill out a form online. The link is in your pledge packet that you can pick up after church or on our website. If you do need a paper form, you can pick one of those up at church. Or if you want help filling out the online form, the stewardship team members can help you with that. We are now going to hear a little bit from Susan Hoffman, more on this pledge drive.
Good morning, winter people. This year's pledge campaign theme is investing in hope. And I'd like to share about investments in hope that First Universalist has made that have drawn me into deeper connection over the decades that I've been a member. In the early 1980s, when I was looking for a faith community, this was the church that fulfilled my hope of finding a spiritual home that saw and celebrated my lesbian identity. It was the first open and affirming church that I had ever encountered. And it took vision and resources to spread that message wide to find me and draw me in. When I became a mother, First Universalist offered my family hope that comes of belonging through an inspired children's and youth curriculum based on curiosity, respect for kids' innate wisdom, and celebration of difference. It took vision and resources to grow our kids and that curriculum. When I married, this church literally married a boatload of queers like me in a day-long love riot. And I see many of you gray hairs who were there. We're still in the pews. That came on the heels of a decade-long political struggle for the right to marry. First U was a backbone of sustained agitating and organizing for marriage equality in Minnesota. It took hope and lots of resources to win that fight and that right. And it is this church that has invested in my and our crucial and communal education about white privilege, racism, and multitudinous ways of othering. This learning and practice-changing thought and action continues to be critical, headlong, and life-altering for me and for many of us. It takes hope and resources to bring us together to meet the need for radical social change. These historical investments in hope, actively identifying as a welcoming congregation now and over time, offering meaningful curriculum for our children and youth, and really for all of us at different stages of life's journey, faithful action in pursuit of marriage equality, and long-term commitment to anti-racism work and supporting BIPOC solidarity in the congregation came about because we had and have members and ministers and staff with hope and vision for how to draw the circle wide here, and the shared will and financial resources to do it. All of us who are speaking about pledging over the next month were asked about what we would imagine might happen with $1 million increase in giving. You'll be hearing some of these audacious imaginings from several of us in the weeks to come. And I actually just had a new idea yesterday while I was folding the laundry. I have been amazed and moved and grown by the flowering of mutual aid throughout the Twin Cities as people, as all of us, rise to counter the terror that the administration has unleashed. What if we literally created a school with pop-up classes and a clearinghouse for teaching the fundamentals of mutual aid that hold us together in the moment? What if we were the people at the ready to say, these are the ways to quickly build out and meet the needs of our neighbors in crisis? Lynn Brodus invited us last week to think what we could do. So this week, while you're folding some clothes, or writing thank you notes to someone, or walking the dog, think about what hopes you have for sustaining love and action in this world through our beloved church community. Thank you.
Thanks, Susan. This morning's offering goes to the Rental Assistance Fund at Hiawatha Academy. Across the school network, 85 families are in need of rental assistance. Due to collective efforts, the school has been able to refer 24 of these families to their hyper-local mutual aid groups in their neighborhood, but there are over 50 families left to match with mutual aid funds, and only about half of the funds needed have been raised. Here's a statement from one of Hiawatha Academy's school social workers who is orchestrating support for the families. This person says, "So many of the students I see every day are now sheltered as if it were COVID again. And I would know, I've worked with the same group of kids through COVID, through the suicide of a teacher, and through the death of their friend. However, unlike COVID where parents kept a paycheck, this new current crisis is coupled with unexpected job loss due to fear, family separation, and so much grief. Unlike COVID, a system that was supposed to protect children is currently attacking them and those they love. My students are schooling from home, and every student in our school knows a family impacted by separations. We have a system for getting food to families, but what they really need is rental assistance to prevent evictions. If you could please donate or to help us help people stay safe and with their family, or share with someone who might, I would be so grateful so I can help the students I support every day with what they really need." So for this expression of our Unitarian Universalist values, for the inherent worth and dignity of all, for the families at Hiawatha Academy, our morning offering will now be received.
Draw the circle wide. No one stands alone, we'll stand side by side. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. No one stands alone, we'll stand side by side. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide.
Thank you to our pickup choir for that beautiful, beautiful music. Our reading today is When It Really Is Just the Wind, Not a Furious Vexation by Kyle Tran Myrie, who is a local poet. The year I was born, the Soviet Union's early warning radar system malfunctioned, reporting 5 intercontinental ballistic missiles in flight, a preemptive nuclear strike. You may have heard this story. How a single lieutenant colonel dismissed the signal as a false alarm that it was, but had he made a different call in that moment, had he seen those 5 ghost fingers as a fist, a mushroom cloud, the most dangerous cliche. I hold it in my hands on my 40th birthday, and it becomes a bouquet, 1,000 stems leading to 1,000 worlds in which cooler heads did not prevail, to 1,000 alternate universe versions of me born in the year of the apocalypse. I see myself dead via radiation poisoning, dead via the shutdown of the supply chain, the failure of the water system, the re-emergence of previously preventable diseases, dead in such manly ways, via an unlucky fall in a fist fight over nothing, via a scratch, ignored and infected. I plucked petals, looking for a version of me who survives, hoping to find that, leather jacket, black motorcycle, katana strapped to my back version, the warrior poet, lone vessel of vengeance, keeping the wasteland's unending tide of razor-clawed mutants at bay version. All these dead worlds, and he isn't out there. All these visions of who I could have been, and not a single hero, folk, super, anti, or otherwise. In one life, I wore a suit of armor and drowned in the river. In one life, I hoarded food and choked on it. In one life, the basement was so full of boxes of bullets, a tornado came and I had nowhere to go, no shelter. I emptied clip after clip into the wind. All these dead worlds, and we tell the same stories. Which is not to say that I never survive, just that my survival in every reality where it is possible never belongs to me. I see myself 40, not dual-wielding bandit warlord, just a neighbor, sitting in another endless community meeting. And how many of our ancestors have already taught us, even after the world ends, there is work to do. I see myself in that work, not the leader, not a lone wolf, just another part of the pack. Because in every universe in which I survive, it is because of other people. And I don't always like them, but I love them. In every universe in which I am alive, it is less because I could fight and more because I could forgive, because I could cooperate, because I could apologize, because I could dance, because I could grow pumpkins in my backyard and leave them at my neighbor's door, asking for nothing in return. In every universe in which I am alive, I am holding a first aid kit, a solar panel, a sleeping cat. Never a rusty battle axe or a rocket launcher. Sure, maybe sometimes a chainsaw, but only for firewood. I am holding a cooking pot, a teddy bear, a photo album, a basketball, a bouquet of flowers. Survival is not a fortress, it is a garden. Survival is not a siren, it is a symphony. And yeah, we fight for it sometimes, but survival is not the fight, it is the healing after. The soft hum of someone you trust applying the bandage, the feeling of falling asleep in a safe place.
Would you stand and join me? The choir and I would like to teach you a song. The words are simple. No one is getting left behind this time.
No one is getting left behind this time.
No one is getting left behind.
No one is getting left behind.
No one is getting left behind this time.
No one is getting left behind this time.
We get there together, we never get there at all.
We get there together.
No one is getting left behind this time. Second phrase goes, no one is getting left behind. No one is getting left behind. No one is getting left behind this time. No one is getting left behind this time. We get there together, we never get there at all. We get there together, we never get there at all. We get there together, we never get there at all. We get there together, we never get there at all. We get there together, never get there at all. We get there together, we never get there at all. Yeah. And the feel is this. You gotta move. First three lines go. 1 and 2. No one is getting left behind this time. No one is getting left behind. No one is getting left behind this time. We get there together, we never get there at all. We get there together, we never get there at all. We get there together, we never get there at all. We step 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. A 1. No one is getting left behind this time. No one is getting left behind. No one is getting left behind this time. We get there together, we never get there at all. We get there together, we never get there at all. We get there together, we never get there at all. Do we feel good with that? So, by the end of singing this, we're going to have 2 choirs. We're going to have this choir and that choir. And they're going to go off and start doing other stuff, but stay strong with the melody. If you hear a harmony that you like, you can join them. Most important is that we keep the rhythm going. 1, a 2, a 1, 2. No one is getting left behind this time. No one is getting left behind. Oh, no one is getting left behind this time. We get there together, we never get there at all. We get there together, we never get there at all. We get there together, we never get there at all. No one is getting left behind this time. No one is getting left behind. No one is getting left behind this time. We get there together, we never get there at all. We get there together, we never get there at all. We get there together, we never get there at all. No one is getting left behind this time. No one is getting left behind. No one is getting left behind this time. Get there together, we get there at all. We get there together, we never get there at all. We get there together, we never get there at all. No one is getting left behind this time. No one is getting left behind. No one is getting left behind this time.
Hello, beloveds. Oh, I got a mic. Wow. Yes, I am Gary Hoover. I use he, him pronouns. I've been a member of this church for about 5 years. Yesterday, I was at Powderhorn Park for the memorial for Renee Good. And I have to tell you, after she was murdered in the street, there's a tree in the neighborhood I visit a lot. I call it the dancing tree because it's so beautiful. And I went there one night and had a vision, really. The ground at the foot of the tree, as I looked at it, seemed to turn to blood. And I looked up at the tree and I had the vision of the living tree, and realized that all of those who have gone before are still with us. And they're in the wind, they're in the rain, they're in the rustling leaves. They are with us. But nevertheless, I realized that Alex Petty and Renee Good, their blood cries out to us from the ground. This goes all the way back, beloveds, to Abel, who was killed by his brother Cain. And we mourn them, and yet we know they are with us. The presence of armed federal agents terrorizing and murdering people in the streets brings back to mind the same question that I spoke about last Superbowl Sunday last year. What does it mean to be a man in the world? Also, this thing called the Epstein files reminds me very much of the question, what does it mean to be a man in the world? And I'm also very much aware that we have all been lied to. We're being lied to now, and the lying will accelerate, and the violence will accelerate. We've been lied to for a long time. I have studied this. I grew up in the religious right. I won't even call it Christianity. I grew up in the religious right, and I realized at a young age that we're being lied to. And it isn't just the Christian faith, that old ancient sacred story, that is being used as a weapon. It's all kinds of stories. I have studied all of my life as I have watched the sky fall. I have been learning to trust the sky even as it falls. And I will tell you this, I have learned that we are here to love. Nothing more, nothing less, nothing else. Love is sufficient. And there is a path to the better, I believe. And that path is beloved community. And we are seeing in our cities, in Minneapolis and all around, we are seeing beloved community emerging. I call it the impossible house of love. It is a living house. It is a great living tree. Fascism, end times fascism or techno-fascism cannot tolerate or coexist with beloved community. So it tries to crush it. It very well may, but it will never kill it because the impossible house of love keeps repairing and tending and nurturing and healing and generating new life. You know, I have been studying what a lot of people call existential risk assessment and systems analysis. And one of the people I have studied and loved, he's now passed away, but his name is David Fleming. He's a British professor, and he used to teach his students about this. He called what we're living into, this great disruption we're living into, the great climacteric. I like that because it's such a British sounding word. But he used that to mean essentially we're living into changes, the scope, speed, and scale of which we cannot even imagine, let alone control. And I'm very aware of that. All that you touch, you change. All that you change changes you. Octavia E. Butler. Behold, the old is passing away, and behold, all things are being made new. We are being rewilded, and that's my way of putting it. We are living into what I call the great come what may. We are living into the great come what may. A good way to think about this is an even if attitude. Even if this happens, I will still be here. I will still love you. Even if that happens, I will still be here as long as I can, and I will still love. I will still love. So when David Fleming's students would ask him, Professor, if the world is in such bad shape, what can we do? There's nothing we can do. And he would say, oh, there is one thing you can do. You can join a choir. When you join a choir, when you sing with others, your heart starts to beat differently. You breathe differently. You learn to listen. You learn to co-regulate. He would say, Dr. Fleming would say, when you sing in a choir, you become who you were meant to be, come what may. And that's all we can do. But there's more. When you sing in a choir, you change inside. But our choir is this body. We are embodied beings together. And so are those trees out there. And I often see a couple of squirrels when I sit in the back. I see a couple of squirrels playing in those trees. They're part of the choir too. In fact, you know what? We humans are a very tiny part of this much larger choir of beings. And one of the things that we're being lied to about a lot is that we're told that all of the goodies we have come from, say, technological progress. Mostly they come from ecocide and genocide. And that is increasing now. We have been lied to about just about everything. The maps that we have of reality do not correspond with the terrain anymore. One of the hardest things about this time is that we're gonna all lose. I have lost all of my life. I have been losing unexamined assumptions, just losing them and going, wow, that's not true. So we experience ontological shock. Now, let me wrap this up by saying this. I grew up on the religious right. I know how intertwined and fused are the white man's burden with white fragility. And I do know that we're undergoing a process of purging where black and brown people are being either exited the country or imprisoned or killed or enslaved. It won't stop with black and brown people. The Native American community in our city know a lot about this, and they see the continuation of the Indian Wars here. So do I. The other day, well, it was some weeks ago, one of the men who kind of lead this effort, Elon Musk, said, most of the people on the planet are NPCs. Do you know what that means? Non-playing characters. There you go. In other words, in computer games, and this is his frame of reference. This is very interesting, speaking of masculinity. His frame of reference is to think about a computer game where you're shooting a bunch of people. And most of the characters in your computer game are going to be just computer-generated algorithms. They have no agency, and they have no meaning at all. And so when men like this tell you what they think of you, believe them, okay? We're living in a world where we've been lied to very much. I find that as I've grown, I have looked to be with people who are very different from myself in order to learn better who I am. And in the last 5 years, in this beloved community here, one of the wonderful things has been I've been able to be with people who have different sexual identities, different sort of experiences being embodied in gender, trans people, gay men, straight men, lesbians, all kinds of people. I don't even know all the kinds. Don't need to. And thank you. That's a big load off my shoulders. You know, it's like one of the wonderful things, though, is that as a guy who grew up being heteronormative white male, a lot of the shackles and armors that I didn't even know was still there start falling away when I regularly converse with, in real honest ways, with folks who are differently bodied than me, have a different life experience of being in the body. And that's such a gift. It's such a gift. James Baldwin, Martin Luther King Jr., before him Gandhi, and many others have talked about this. Baldwin talked about how the oppressor must be liberated. We have created monsters. We have. And the only way for us to be liberated, all of us, we all get there together, or not at all. The only way to be liberated is to spend time with each other in loving community. There's friction there. There's difficulty. We got to join in. We got to be there fully present. We got to say, how else can I get involved? We have to stick around. And when you stick around and are fully present, that's where the magic happens. And then we join in again when we understand, oh man, we're really different, but we can still love each other, and we'll get there together. Join the choir, beloveds. We're in the choir. We live in the impossible house of love. That's where we belong. So be it. Amen.
Thank you, Gary. So we've made it a practice to explore masculinity, or I'd prefer masculinities, on Superbowl Sunday. I think it's a good tradition. I'm enjoying it. This week, as I was thinking about this service, I struggled a bit with, is this still the right topic for today, given all that is happening in our world, in our cities, in the state, in the country? And I came back to, yes, it is still the right topic for today, because as Gary said, the maps we've been given are all wrong. The maps we've been given about gender identity, about the limitations of different ways of being, they are all wrong, and they have been strangling us. We need to be able to understand what we've been taught, whether implicitly or explicitly, sort it, sift it, get rid of some stuff, choose some stuff, play with some stuff, imagine some things, and find our ways of being that are life-giving and life-sustaining and joyful. Our Unitarian Universalist faith prepares us well for these kinds of explorations here, because here we say there is no one way to be, no one right thing to believe, no one right thing to do. Instead, we are grounded in shared values of justice and equity and transformation, shared values of pluralism, interdependence, and generosity, all grounded in love. Within those boxes, within those values, we have so much room to play, explore, find our way, sort and sift, imagine our way forward. So this morning, if you hear just one thing from me, I want it to be this: there is not masculinity. There are masculinities. There are many ways of being. And whatever the characteristics are of masculinity that you choose for yourself, may they be grounded in love. I found myself turning this week to, like you do, the Gender Transformative Education Glossary. It's here that I learned the definition of masculinity that I'll share with you. Masculinity is a set of characteristics and behaviors that are associated with men, boys, and male bodies. Masculinity is socially constructed. It varies across time and place. This is where it gets clear to me how culturally bound this definition is, and all are really. They continue, typically masculinity is characterized by competition, control, strength, sports, aggression, power, decision-making, and having and communicating fewer emotions. Traditionally, they say men are meant to be tough, this is in this framework, have power, and sometimes use violence to exert control. Schools and other educational institutions, sometimes deliberately and sometimes without meaning to, reinforce and teach masculinity that is harmful to all genders, including the boys who are learning it. They're talking about this one kind of box of what masculinity singular is. And of course, we know that's one box, right? There are also stereotypes and other boxes of what masculinity might mean in other or varied bodies. For instance, what is it to be a white man? What is it to be a black man? What is it to be a Latino man, an Asian man, a gay man, a trans man? What is it to be a masculine woman? In all these cases, there's a box that goes with it, a set of assumptions and characteristics and rules about how you have to be if you're in that box. And all of these boxes, unless we intentionally choose parts of them and find them life-giving, these boxes diminish us, all of us, whether we are directly impacted by those or indirectly, because they stifle us from being our authentic selves, from being in authentic relationship with each other. Room to choose, to examine, to know what is, to know ourselves, to sort, to sift, to explore, to play, to find a way. That is what I hope for us. I think something dangerous has been happening over the years, which is that masculine characteristics, or what it means to be a man, has been left unexplored in some ways because it's just been assumed to be the norm or the default, right? And so when we don't examine it, we don't make what's implicit explicit, it's harder to work with it. It's harder to know what we're going to choose and what we're going to let go of, what is life-giving, what is life-destroying. Peggy Ornstein wrote an important and disturbing book recently called Boys and Sex, and in it she shares some important things. She says there appears to be a huge shift in how young men today perceive women. She says most men today believe in gender equality in the classroom, in leadership, in athletics, and in professional opportunities. Yet, she says, when I ask them to describe the ideal guy, these same boys who were coming of age in the 2000s appeared to be channeling 1955. Their definition of masculinity had barely budged. Emotional detachment, rugged good looks with an emphasis on height, sexual prowess, athleticism, wealth, at least hopefully someday, dominance, aggression. These were the characteristics they associated with being a man. In 2018, she says, a national survey of over 1,000 adolescents found that although girls believed there were many ways to be a girl, still with a huge caveat that they mostly felt valued for their appearance, boys felt like there was only one narrow pathway to successful manhood. They still equated the display of most emotions, as well as vulnerability, crying, or appearing sensitive or moody with acting like a girl, which was not considered a good thing. She goes on to say that feminism may have afforded girls an escape from the constraints of conventional femininity, offered them alternative identities as women and a language with which to express their many problems, but it has made few inroads with boys. Whether you label it the mask of masculinity, toxic masculinity, or the man box, the traditional conception of manhood still holds sway, dictating how boys think and feel and behave. Boxes. Boxes that tell us who we're supposed to be. Oppressive social norms that keep us from healthy masculinities. We need room to explore, to sift, to sort, to play, to imagine, to find our ways that are life-giving and life-sustaining. There are characteristics that are often described as traditionally masculine that are desperately needed right now. Protection of the most vulnerable, strength, courage, loyalty, making sure that others have what they need, being a provider. These characteristics aren't limited to folks who identify as male or female or trans or non-binary or gender expansive. They are maybe forms of masculinities. Maybe they're characteristics we want to choose for ourselves. Growing up, I had the experience not of being taught so much directly about what it means to be a woman, but I certainly picked it up from everyone and everything around me. As a kid, I don't remember anybody teaching me about shaving my legs or my armpits, but I certainly remember doing it. And I remember as a kid in elementary school, once I had started getting teased because I was more masculine appearing than the other girls, and because I also really love sports. Bad. I decided that I needed to help, prevent some of this bullying, and I started shaving my arms too, because I was like, oh, that'll make me look more feminine. Nobody ever suggested that. But I was trying to find ways to protect myself, protect my heart. In 1995, I got accepted to Smith College, which is a women's college, and I'm so grateful that they had and still have a policy where if you get in, they'll find a way to pay for you to go, which was what I needed. And I got there to this women's college, and I learned for the first time just how many ways there are to be a woman. It was awesome. So many expressions of what it meant to be female or to be trans or non-binary there. I got to play and explore in a safer place, to figure out what parts of different gender identities I wanted to keep or hold on to. And I started to learn about myself there. I learned that, in the words of the time, I fell into the category that I embraced of butch lesbian. Now, I went looking for the rule book right away on this, and I found some, and I adopted some of those characteristics, and they made me feel like myself, and some of them still do. I get my hair cut every 6 weeks, very important. Keep up on your car care, keep an eye out for people, try and help people feel and be safe. A couple of years ago, I'm so out of the loop these days on what the language is sometimes at points that I met somebody at a conference and they described themselves as masc. And I was like, what is that? So I went and asked my straight friend and she's like, oh, masculine lesbian. That's what you are, Jen. And I was like, shit. I'm learning all the time. But here's the thing I want to say that I learned most, and I continue to learn and live into, and it's what I think we're doing too, each of us here. This sorting and sifting about what's life-giving for us, what characteristics we want to carry, how we want to be grounded in love. What I learned in the rule books, spoken and unspoken, as I was discovering and becoming who I am, was that the most important part is that we protect our hearts and we protect each other's hearts. How can I, maybe it's in what I'm wearing or how I'm behaving or how I am with someone else, how are we making room for each other's hearts, creating a little bit of care and protection around them? That's the best of who I am trying to be in this masc identity. The poet this morning told us that in every universe in which I am alive, it is because of other people. Survival is not a fortress, they told us, it is a garden. Survival is not a siren, it is a symphony. And yeah, we fight for it sometimes, but survival is not the fight. It is the healing after. The soft hum of someone you trust applying the bandage. The feeling of falling asleep in a safe place. This is what I hope we are creating for ourselves and each other. Healing, the feeling of falling asleep in a safe place. May this be the life, the relationships, the world, the ways of being that we create and nurture together. May it be so. Amen.
Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Hope will guide us. If you cannot sing like angels, love will guide us, peace has tried us, up inside us, lead the way. Love will guide us through the hard night.
As we prepare to leave this space, I remind you, if you're a church member, pick up your pledge packet on your way out. If you're not a church member yet, pick up a pledge packet on the way out. Welcome in. This week we have community dinner on Wednesday night. Please RSVP and join us. Please check out our program guide with offerings of what's coming up and how to get involved. Join us for the trans family pancake breakfast on Saturday the 14th. And next Sunday, come early at 10:10. Join us for smudging in the sanctuary and between the surfaces. Amelia Marquez, an Indigenous member of our congregation, is offering this spiritual medicine for all of us in these times. If you feel comfortable doing so and would like to, I invite you to join hands. If you don't want to, that is just fine. We are connected in all the ways across time and place through shared breath. No one is getting left behind this time. Let no parts of yourself be left behind either. All of you is welcome and wanted, whole and holy and worthy, all with room to grow. May we know it. May we feel it. May we do it. May it be so. Amen.
We are going, heaven knows where we are going. We know within, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, and we know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, Go in peace, friends.
Oh.